Hello everyone. Today we are going to continue with the functional areas of the cerebral cortex, and in it today we are going to learn about the sensory areas, right? Now here in this diagram you can see SM1 is shown, right? The area 1, 2 and 3, right? Now in the sensory areas we are going to learn about 4 different areas, right? Out of that, the first one is the first somesthetic area. That is general sensory area also you can call, right? Or first somesthetic area or first somatosensory area, that is SM1. It occupies the post-central gyri on the superolateral surface of the cerebral hemisphere and posterior part of the paracentral lobule on the medial surface, right? Last time we have seen that the precentral gyri was occupying the motor area, right? And the just behind the central sulcus you have the post-central gyrus, that is the general sensory area, plus the posterior part of the paracentral lobule, right? We had also seen that the anterior part of the paracentral lobule is the motor area and the posterior part of the paracentral lobule will form the sensory area, that is on the medial surface of the cerebral hemisphere. It corresponds to area 3, 1 and 2 of Brodmann, right? You can see in the diagram area 3, 1 and 2 is given. The representation of the body in this area, it corresponds to that in the motor area, that is contralateral half of the body is represented upside down except the face, right? Now here, as in the motor cortex also we have seen the presentation, similar presentation you will find here also. For that we'll see one more diagram, this one. Now in this diagram you can see, right, this is the brain that is shown, these are the cerebral hemispheres. The purple color that you can see is the sensory area and the yellow colored is the motor area, right? Now here is the motor area presentation, here is the sensory area presentation that you can find, right? That is about, this is the post-central gyri presentation that they have shown here. So here again, as we have seen in the motor area, similarly the function is contralateral and it is representing the body again upside down except the face. The area of the cortex that receives sensations from the particular part of the body is not proportional to the size of that part, but rather to the intricacy of the sensations received from it, right? Now we have learned in the motor also, similarly here the size of or you can say the area that is covered by the different parts that you see here, right? That is again depending upon the sensation here, right? In the motor it was depending upon the function, but here it is depending upon the sensation that particular area has to carry for maximum number of the times, right? So for example we can say thus the thumb, fingers, right, they will carry the maximum sensations. Lips and the tongue, they have a disproportionately large representation here, okay? The different sensations, that is cutaneous and proprioceptive, are represented in different parts via the within the sensory area, right? So again, if we talk about the different sensations, there are cutaneous sensations, right? There are some deep sensations like proprioceptive sensations, right? So all this again, they have different areas in the postcentral gyrus. The ventral posterior nucleus of the thalamus is the main source of the afferent fibers for the sensory area. This thalamic nucleus is the site of termination of all the fibers of the medial lemniscus. Most of the fibers of the spinothalamic and the trigeminothalamic tracts carrying the fibers for the cutaneous sensibility and in the anterior part of the area, and those for the deep sensibility and in the posterior part, right? Now see, the afferent fibers mainly are coming from the ventral posterior nucleus of the thalamus, right? And this thalamic nucleus is the site of the termination of all the fibers of the medial lemniscus. Medial lemniscus we have already studied with the brainstem, right? Especially with the medulla oblongata, right? It is formed by the crossing of the internal arcuate fibers, right? So that one thing you should know. And second is that we have just talked about the cutaneous sensations and the deep sensations, right? So all the fibers of the spinothalamic and the trigeminothalamic tracts carrying the fibers for cutaneous sensibility, they will end in the anterior part of the area, right? And for the deep sensations, they will end in the posterior part. Okay, so this again has to be remembered. Okay, so that is all about the general sensory area, or you can say the first somasthetic area. Second is the second somasthetic area. Now this we can see, again coming back to the original diagram, here you will find SM2 is shown, right? In this you can see SM2, right? Now this second somasthetic area is also known as the second somatosensory area. It has been demonstrated in the primates including the humans. It is situated in the superior lip of the posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus with the post-central gyrus, right? With the post-central gyrus, but in the lateral sulcus. Superior lip of the posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus. The parts of the body here are represented bilaterally, right? Next is the somasthetic association cortex, right? Now in the association cortex you can see area number 5 and 7 are shown, right? These two are the areas of the somasthetic association cortex. Now this cortex is mainly in the superior parietal lobule on the superolateral surface of the hemisphere and in the precuneus on the medial surface. Coincides with the area 5 and 7 of the Brodmann. It receives afferent from the first sensory area and has reciprocal connection with the dorsal tier of the nuclei of the lateral mass of the thalamus, right? So from where it is receiving, see it is an association cortex, so it will show the associations, right? It will receive the fibers from the from this SM1. Okay, that is the first sensory area. Data pertaining to the general senses are integrated, permitting a comprehensive assessment of the characteristic of an object held in hand and its identification without the visual aid, right? So what is the function, right? Many a times if your eyes are closed, right, even then if any object is given in your hand, you are able to identify that object, right? So that is the function of this area, that is somasthetic association cortex. Okay. Next is the receptive speech area of the vernix, right? We have last time also seen here area number 22. This is known as the sensory language area. It consists of the auditory association cortex and of the adjacent parts of the inferior parietal lobule. Okay, so this area 22, right? Last time also we have talked along with the Broca's area, right? We have related it with the Broca's area. So this 22 is the vernix area related to the language function, also called as the sensory language area. Okay, so these are the 4 areas: first somasthetic area, second somasthetic area, somasthetic association cortex, right? And this area 22, that is the vernix area, right? So how many areas are related here? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 and 22. Okay. Now clinical anatomy for the sensory areas. First somasthetic or the general sensory area, that is area 3, 1 and 2 of the Brodmann, right? Now when this part of the cortex is the site of the destructive lesion, a crude form of the awareness persists for the sensation of the pain, heat and cold on the opposite side of the lesion, right? See, the function is contralateral again, right? So if there is a destructive lesion in this part, then a crude form of the awareness is there. Means a patient can identify a sensation of the pain, heat and cold, but is unable to localize that particular sensation. There is poor localization of the stimulus, right? Heart. The patient might tell you, yeah, this is feeling cold, right? But actual location of where he is feeling that particular cold, he is not able to identify that. Okay. So poor localization of the stimulus is there. There is loss of discriminative sensations of the fine touch, movements and position of the body, right? Now see, if we talk about touch, there are 2 types of the touch, fine and the crude touch, right? Now fine touch, it is a sensory modality that allows the subject to sense and localize the touch, right? Patient can sense the touch and also the localization of the touch is there. But in the crude touch, the localization is not possible, right? So what is happening here, the subject will feel the touch but is unable to identify where they were touched, right? So similar is with the movement and the position of the part of the body, right? So if area 1, 2 and 3 of the Brodmann is affected, then all the symptoms will be found in the patient. Next is the somastatic association cortex, that is superior parietal lobule, area 5 and 7 of the Brodmann. A lesion in this area leads to the defect in understanding the significance of the sensory information, which is called as agnosia. Okay. Now, what is agnosia? Agnosia means inability to interpret sensation, right, and hence recognize the things, right? Patient is not able to understand the sensory information that is provided, right? A lesion that destroys a large portion of this association cortex, it causes tactile agnosia, means the same agnosia but tactile means related to touch, and stereognosis, which are closely related, right? Now what happens in this tactile agnosia, when it is related to one hand, it is called as tactile agnosia, and when it is related to both the hands, it is called as stereognosis. Now in this condition, the person is unable to recognize the object that is held in his hand while the eyes are closed, right? As just we have talked about the somastatic association area, that many times you are able to recognize the object that is given in your hand. Even if your eyes are closed, you are able to recognize that object, right? So this function is lost, and this is called as tactile agnosia, right? He is unable to correlate the surface, texture, shape, size and weight of the object, or to compare the sensations with the previous experience. Okay, so that is all about the applied anatomy related to the sensory areas. Okay, so that is all about the sensory areas. In the next video, we will learn about the areas in the brain of the special sensations. Okay, bye for now.